ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك اللهم أعني.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for your leisure time for joining us today for the second episode. So all participants, thank you for joining us for the second episode of our Tadabbur session. In the previous episode, we discussing what it is halal. Okay. Can you hear my voice? Okay, can you guys hear my voice? Or it's slow? Okay. All right, thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
All right. Bagus doktor. So
Uh,
for the second
First of
episode,
all,
yeah, doktor. Go on.
let me give me the permission to share.
Oh,
I
all right.
cannot share.
Okay. All right. Can you share the screen, sir? Doctor?
Okay, Alhamdulillah.
All right. Thank you, doctor. So I will continue. So for today, we will dive the topic into the halal food consumption, which is related with the dietary practices in Islam. So we will explore various important aspects that guide what is permissible and what is not. So with these key points in mind, I am pleased to pass the floor to our esteemed speaker, who will guide us through this insightful journey. So the floor is yours. تفضل مشكورا.
Okay, thank you, Brother Irfan, my fellow friends, audiences, and all the participants in our second episode, second session on the Tadabbur of selected surah related to halal in Islam. And inshallah, let us give our thankfulness or gratefulness to Allah for giving us this opportunity for tonight to see again, and inshallah to be patient with me, to sit with me for another 1 hour to listen to my talk entitled Halal and Haram in Food Consumption. Halal and haram in food consumption. Inshallah, for tonight's presentation or tonight's session, the discussion will be on these 4 items. 4 items, which are types of food that are prohibited in Islam. Animals' right. Because why? Because normally actually my main reference for tonight's session is the book written by Al-Marhum Professor Dr. Yusuf Qardawi. But on this part, on elements right and vegetarian in Islam, actually I make my own references, my own resources to make our presentation tonight, inshallah, more interesting. Okay, the second one is animals right and then vegetarian in Islam. Is it allowed in Islam to be vegetarian? And then the last one, number 4, food prepared and slaughtered by the people of the book or Ahlul Kitab. Mainly the Jews, mainly the Jews. Okay, we go straight to our topic. The first topic: types of food that are prohibited in Islam. Types of food that are prohibited in Islam. Okay, before we go furthermore on the topic, first we have to open the discussion with this one ayah. Actually, this ayah covers everything. If you are talking about food consumption in Islam, which is allowed and not allowed, okay, this ayah can be the introductory verses for the topic. In this ayah, Allah says, Ya ayyuhan nas, O humanity, it is not about Ya ayyuhalladina aman, O you who believe, because it is very vast topic, and then general, this order or this instruction from Allah is general to all human beings, regardless you are Muslim or not Muslim yet. Allah say, Kulu mimma fil ardi, eat from Kulu mimma fil ardi halalan tayyiba. Eat from what is lawful and good on this earth. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ, and do not follow the Satan's footsteps. إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ. He is truly your sworn animal, your sworn enemy. Okay, when talking about halal and tayyib, it goes together. It comes together, halal and tayyiba. It is not enough talking about halal and then you ignore or you just miss the part of tayyib. Because if I can say, human being, we've been created by Allah consists of a few elements, the physical part and the spiritual part. If I can say, halal is about spiritual concern. In order to be a good Muslim, to have to attain certain level of spirituality, which is pleased by Allah, you have to consume the halal. And then tayyib is about nutrition concern. It is not about only talking about halal, but in the meantime, you are taking the junk food. You are taking the fast food, the junk food. In order to be a good Muslim, you have to complete these two, halal and tayyiba, which compromises the halal, which concern about spiritual part, and then the tayyib, which concern about your health and your nutrition part. Okay. Okay, types of food in discussion. Tonight discussion, we'll touch on these two. The first one, animal. This is our main focus for our discussion tonight will be on the animal with relation to halal and haram. And then number two, crops, fruit and plant. For the second part, it is not critical. The second part, it is not critical for us to know, except for that, in order to gain reward in your fruit or plant consumption, you have to make sure that you do not transgress or steal people's property. That's it. But on the animal, even though the animal belong to you, but you have to comply with certain conditions prescribed by Allah or by Islam in order to make the food or the animal you slaughter, you are taking for your food consumption halal. Okay. Okay, this is the main concept. Actually, this one we discussed is about this one in last month's session, but I think we have to repeat again in briefly on this issue, because this maxim is very important. If you are talking about halal food consumption, this is the maxim that shows the wideness of Islam. Allah, this maxim somehow founded by our scholars based on their research. It mentions al-aslu fil ashya al-ibaha. Al-aslu fil ashya al-ibaha. Everything on this earth which is beneficial for human being is permissible for them to use. Okay, except which are announced to be haram or unlawful from the sound religious text. Meaning by that, you can eat, you can consume everything in this world, except what is mentioned specifically to be haram or unlawful by the sound religious text. What is the meaning of sound religious text? The authentic. You cannot just rely on the hadith or the opinion of certain scholars, which is not authentic. The main issue, the main concern here is that except which are announced to be unlawful or haram from the sound religious text. So in order to know, is it sound or authentic? Of course, you have to have the knowledge about the Quran and the hadith. Okay. Talking about animal. Okay, animal fits with certain conditions. You cannot just eat or slaughter the animal, but of course you have to follow because the consumption of food derived from the animal fixed with certain condition. Number one, it must be slaughtered in the name of Allah. All of us know that. This is the ayah. Allah said, وَمَا لَكُمْ أَلَّا تَأْكُلُوا مِمَّا ذُكِرَ اسْمُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ. Why should you not eat of what is slaughtered in the names of Allah? So at the minimum, Bismillah. The minimum is Bismillah. What is the significance of mentioning the Allah's name on the slaughtering? It is to show that everything from this earth is created by Allah for us. So in order to show our gratefulness to Allah, we slaughtered the animal using His name and comply with His conditions. If you go deeper on the slaughtering part of the animal, actually it comprises, it consists of many conditions. you have to ensure that you cut the proper vein on the neck of the animal. I will not go into that because it will take or consume a lot of time if I wanted to discuss furthermore on the slaughtering part. Enough for us to understand or to know that the main condition for any animal that we want to consume, to eat, it must be slaughtered by the name of Allah. Okay. Number two, the animal, the food derived from the animal should not involve certain types of animal. Okay, this is the ayah in Surah Al-An'am. Allah said, قل, say, O Muhammad, لا أجد فيما أوحي إلي محرما. I do not find in what has been revealed to me anything forbidden. على طاعم يطعمه, forbidden to eat, إلا أن يكون ميتة, except for this a few items. The first one, ميتة, the carrion, the dead meat, or we call it bangkai, in bahasa bangkai. And then دم مسفوحة, running blood. And then أو لحم خنزير, swine. فإنه رجس, particularly Allah mentioned here, فإنه رجس, the swine and the pork, which is impure physically, spiritually, the swine. أو فسقا أهل لغير الله به, or a sinful offering in the name of other than Allah. For example, some disbelievers or the mushrikin, the idolaters, they slaughter the animal and then they shout in the name of Allah, in the name of Al-Uzza. Because of that, the certain kind of animal are haram or unlawful for Muslim to consume. Okay, when we are talking about special types of animal, these special types of animal, it is important for us to learn Arabic because it is undeniable, or I should say inevitably, for the Muslim to understand Quran and Sunnah, they have to know Arabic language, because Arabic language is the chosen language chosen by Allah to become the text for Al-Quran and Sunnah. And then when you learn about Arabic language, the importance of understanding the usage of word of innama. If you learn Arabic, we call it innama, we call it adatul hasri. Adatul hasri, the special word used in Arabic to limit on something. Special word used in Arabic to limit on something. Next time, when you open the Mus'haf and then you find innama in the beginning of the surah or in the beginning of the verses, it shows that what is mentioned in this particular surah, in this particular verses, is only the part that been touched by Allah. For example, I'll give you another example. I give you another example in the zakah. If you are talking about zakah, okay, mana surah ni? Okay. If you are talking about zakah, zakat. If you're talking about zakat, you cannot just give the zakat to anybody. It must only provided for these types of people. Why? Because in Surah At-Tawbah, verse 60. See? Okay. This is the verse in the Holy Quran touches or discusses about zakat, about the zakat. And Allah say here, innama sadaqa. See, innama. Innama here, we call it adatul hasri. When it comes to this letter, meaning by that, only the groups that mentioned in this verse is eligible to accept zakah. Why? Because Allah said, innama. In bahasa we call it hanya senyum. Only these groups. Allah said, innama sadaqah, okay, the zakat, the charity, the compulsory charity, which is zakat, lil fuqara is meant only for the fuqara, masakin, والعاملين عليها والمؤلف وفي الرقاب والغارمين وفي سبيل الله وابن السبيل. Altogether, we have only 8. So we cannot add more, become 9. No, it is not our right. Why? In terms of the usage of the Arabic language, the word of innama somehow limits the eligibility for people to accept zakah. Is only for this 8 group, fuqara, masakin, and that. And then why? Because of this word, innama. So that is why, in order to understand Al-Quran, our Sharia, you have to learn Arabic. You have to know Arabic. Without the mastery or good mastery in Arabic language, you somehow cannot fully understand our religion. So that is why innama here is very important. Allah say innama. So in the translation, see, he has only, we call it only, yeah. Innama harrama alaykum mayta, he has only forbidden you to eat carrion and all of this for. Okay, in other verses, this verse somehow Allah explain a little bit more or explain in detail. There are 10 items in particular. 10 items in particular. See, Allah say, حرمت عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير. Altogether, there are 10 items. Number 1, that meat. Number 2, blood. Number 3, swine. Number 4, what is slaughtered in the name of any other than Allah. In the name of any other than Allah. And then number 5, what is killed by strangling. Number 6, beating or fall. Why? Why must we Allah explain in detail about strangling, beating, fall, God? Even though it is enough to say that strangling or beating or fall is included under the dead meat. Why? Because some people, they are so tricky. For example, in order to make the animal is lawful, halal for them to consume, to eat, first they have to kill the animal. And normally they kill the animal using the knife, a sharp knife, enough. But unfortunately, for example, this man happened to unable to find the knife, no knife, but he wants to consume the animal. So he make another option. He go up on the higher building, and then he push for example, the animal from top of the building, and then it fall, die. And then he may be thinking there by killing the animal using that method, reciting basmalah, for example, before he push the animal from the higher building, Bismillah. It is not enough. It is not enough. So that is why in this ayah, Allah explained a little bit more on the types of animal, strangling, meaning to say that if you don't have knife, you cannot just strangle the animal to make it able for you to eat after you kill the animal. No. Itu sebab dia. Karena kes sebenarnya strangling, beating, fall dengan god ni masuk bawah apa? Carrion, bangkai mereka tu. Tapi sebab tak ada pisau, dia pun tolak bangunan tinggi. Bismillah, dia tolak. Dia anggap dia sebagai sembelih. Itu tak boleh lah. Okay, this is 10 items in particular to the animal. Okay, and then the other discussion, the important discussion about the food consumption. Okay, even though the previous items which is mentioned, for example, the carrion, the blood swine, and slaughter in the name of other than Allah is unlawful or haram for us. But sometimes, if you are in the state of necessity, somehow Islam is a very flexible religion. If you are in the state of darura, you have to consume something, or else you will die out of hunger. You have to consume something, and the remaining, the existing food for you is the unlawful. For example, you have the carrion, you have the swine, none others. If you do not consume this food, you will die out of hunger. During that certain situation, it is allowed for you to consume, to eat the unlawful animal food, which is in the normal situation, it is haram for you. But during the darura, you can consume only to uphold your life. The details here, Allah say here. This is because the maqasid of protecting life. Because in Islam we have the objectives of Sharia. What is the purpose of Allah sending this religion, sending Islam for our use? Is to protect or to preserve these 5 items. The first one, to protect or to preserve your religion. So that is why you are not allowed to leave your religion, murtad. And then to protect of life. So that is why you cannot just go and kill people. If you are killing people, then you will be punished severely. you will be punished by Sharia severely. In order to protect your life, sometimes when you are at the junction, if you are not eating this unlawful haram food, you will die. So you have to protect your life in a very small portion. Maqasid Sharia. Okay, the consensus of the jurists is that necessity in this case signifies the need for food to relieve hunger when no food other than the prohibited food is available. Okay, some jurists holding the opinion at the least they got one day or one night should pass without food. In such situation, a person may eat as much will satisfy his hunger only. His hunger only, not to enjoy the food. Not to enjoy the food. Pada kadar yang sangat minimum. Okay. Okay, we go for the third, the following session. Okay, the status of marine animal. All of us know that because based on this ayah, Allah say, okay, it is lawful for you to hunt and eat the seafood as provision for you and for travelers. The seafood, we have a wide and vast permission in Islam. You don't have to slaughter them. You can eat just like that. Because and then this is one hadith, a very interesting hadith. Companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam feasting, kendui, kita kata, feasting the whale, the whole whale, because in this hadith, narrated by Jabir radiallahu anhu, we say, we set out in the army of Al-Khabt, and Abu Ubaidah was the commander of the troops, appointed by Allah to be the commander of the troop. We were struck with severe hunger, and the sea threw out that fish, the like of fish we had never seen, and it was called an ambar. Ambar macam ikan paus, ikan paus. We ate of it for half a month. Abu Ubaidah took and fixed one of its bone, and a rider passed underneath it without touching it. This is to describe the huge size of this ambar, of this whale. And then Jabir, Abu Ubaidah say, eat of that fish. When we arrived at Medina, we informed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam about our story, our situation, and then Rasulullah said, eat, for it is food of Allah has brought out for you from the sea, and feed us if you have some of it. So some of them gave him, Rasulullah, give Rasulullah the fish, and Rasulullah ate the fish. Actually, it is somehow, we call it taqrir. If you learn hadith, this is what taqrir. Taqrir, kata macam the acknowledgement from Rasulullah of something lawful. Okay, do you have the food? Okay, come. Rasulullah eat. So that is the acknowledgement of Allah, which somehow in our religion, in Sharia, shows the we are permissible to eat the animal, the marine animal. Okay, another issue. This is, I think, INHART has already discussed or give the exposure for our student about this issue, synthetic meat or lab-grown meat. Okay, this is the future of protein, because we are human being. Alhamdulillah, we've been granted by Allah the knowledge. We explore so many things using sciences, and then among the science are biotechnology, and then using this knowledge, people manage to create the synthetic, or we call it the fake meat, the synthetic or the fake meat. So what is the ruling of consuming this meat? Okay, there are questions asked by people to the ulama. Is meat that is created in lab or synthetic meat halal? Is meat that is created from stem cells halal? The answer is that, in principle, if the stem cells are extracted from animals slaughtered in line with the Islamic guideline, it is permissible and halal, provided that, okay, all other ingredients found therein also halal for consumption. So simple. It must be derived from the something which is halal, okay? And then people ask about, what about the pork? What about the pork? Is this allowed for us to eat something which is not pork originally by physical, but the taste of pork? For example, you just take any meat, the chicken meat, for example, meat, chicken, ayam, and then you put inside the meat the pork flavor. Is it halal or not? Somehow, people ask about this in Irsyad Fatwa Mufti Wilayah. Hukum memakan daging tiruan, synthetic meat. Okay, daging babi tiruan. Okay, and then it say, in conclusion, based on our discussion, we conclude that a few things. The first one, hukum asal daging. Okay, the original ruling on eating synthetic meat, which derive from the halal items, for example, the crops, the plants, it is halal. But for the fake pork, it is unlawful to haram, using this concept of sadd al-dhari'ah. Sadd al-dhari'ah is about prevention. In order to prevent more damage, greater damage in the future, because people started to create something haram. For example, agak haram, dia pun buat minuman yang similar tu agak rasa dia, babi dan sebagainya. Jadi, as a prevention measure, there's a Mufti Wilayah in this ruling, in this article, actually said that it is not unlawful. It is unlawful for us to eat the fake pork, even though the original form of that food is not derived from the pork, from other item which is halal, but as a prevention measure, no. Okay, no, we shouldn't consume that. Okay, still in the animal part, hunting animal and its three conditions. Because if you are talking about animal in the past, during the time of Rasulullah, it's not like our time. Our time, everything has been farm. For example, you have everything. You have the chicken farm, the cattle farm. But in the time of Rasulullah, if you wish to eat something, you have to hunt. You have to hunt. For example, the historical background from this verse, when Rasulullah arrived in Medina, there are so many wild dogs in Medina. It somehow harm people in Medina. And then Rasulullah instructed the companion to kill, execute all the wild dogs in order to make the environment of Medina safe. And then this one Qabila of Arab, they went to see Rasulullah. They said, Rasulullah, you instructed us, the people of Medina, to kill, to execute on the wild dog. Our problem is that we train our dog. We train our dog to hunt animal. Then this is the only way for us to have food. If you said then wild dog is haram, you have to kill the wild dog, what should we do? Because of that question, Allah revealed this ayah. Allah said, يَسْأَلُونَكَ مَاذَا أُحِلَّ لَهُمْ. They ask you, O Prophet, what is permissible for them to eat? Qul, say, what is good and lawful? Also, what is caught by your hunting animals or birds of prey. Mukallibin tu hunting animal lah. Ataupun dia kata macam semua binatang buas. On the wild animal, they've been trained. But with three conditions. Okay. The first condition, you have to train the animal until it's really understand how to hunt for you. Okay, how do we know? The animal that we train for hunting can be graduated from the school of hunting with flying colors. How? It's nature. For example, normally the hunting animal, the wild animal, just like the dog, they hunt for themselves. Okay. And then you train them until they hunt the animal not for themselves but for you. If they manage to do that consistently during the schooling time, during the training session, then the animal is considered pass for the hunting. Number two is the animal, the wild animal, the hunting animal, catched for you, not for them. And then the last one, when you are certain about the ability of your hunting animal to hunt for you, after you train them, whenever you release the animal to go and for hunting, for example, you bring along your animal in the jungle, and you see from far there is a deer, something, and then you release your animal, your hunting animal, regardless the bird of prey, anjing ke, rimau ke, tak apalah. You release them, mentioning Allah's name, Bismillah. Okay, that particular Bismillah consider a slaughtering using the name of Allah. This is very unique. Actually, this ayah alone, I can explain or elaborate on this ayah alone half an hour, but enough for that. Because we have 3 more to go. We have 3 more to go. Berapa banyak masa sekejap saya ambil jam. Takut terajak. Okay, half an hour. Habis setengah jam. Okay, number 2, animals' right. Because we have this, what, the humans' right, animals' right, everything claim for their right this day. Because people think that they are getting smarter. But not necessary to say that those people who are fighting for the right are smart. Okay, animals' right. What Allah says or Islam says about the animals' right. First, we have to set this concept. During the time of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, Allah somehow instructed Prophet Nuh alayhi salam to save or to bring along certain animals in pairs. See, when our command came and the oven burst with water, before the big flood came, and then we said to Nuh alayhi salam, قُلْ نَحْمِلْ فِيهَا مِنْ كُلٍّ زَوْجَيْنِ اثْنَيْنِ. We say to Nuh, take into the ark a pair of from every species, along with you, along with your family. Why? Because some scholars say that the flood during the time of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam consumed the whole world. Consumed the whole world. If Prophet Nuh alayhi salam didn't save the species of every animal, after the flood ends, there will be no food for human being. So the whole ecosystem will be in trouble. So in order to make sure that the whole ecosystem, the food chain for human being or even for the animal, in order to maintain the prosperity of this world, the animal should be there. And then the animal somehow should be thankful to Prophet Nuh because he was the one who saved the animal species. So this is the first discussion of the first concept when we are talking about animals right. Animals should be thankful to human being because Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, the one who saved them. Okay, number 2, it is mentioned repeatedly in the Holy Quran. Animal somehow was created for us, for our use, provided that we have to use them in a proper way. Islam comes somehow to guide human being to treat the animal or everything in this world in a proper way. So that is why we call it, we are the Khalifa, the vicegerent of Allah, the vicegerent of this world. Meaning by that, you are not the consumer of this world without ethic. So Islam comes, teaches about the ethic of everything, the ethic to use this one, the ethic to deal with the animal, the ethic to live your life in this world, in your family, in your nation, in your country, everything. Okay. Among the ethic, Allah said here, the main core of this life, Allah said, animals are created for human use. وَإِنَّ لَكُمْ فِي الْأَنْعَامِ الْعِبْرَةِ. And certainly, there is certainly a lesson for you in the cattle. Al-an'am ni binatang ternak. We call it livestock. Sebut cattle macam lembu setahu saya. Tapi cattle ni livestock, binatang ternak, consists of 4 items, 4 species. The goats, lembu, kambing, tulang betul. And from whose bellies we give you milk to drink. And in them are many other benefit for you. And from them you may eat. وَمِنْهَا تَأْكُلُونَ. Makan. Okay? And you are carried upon some of them and upon ships. Maksud kita dibawa atas kenderaan ni. This is the first one. Another ayah in Surah Yasin. Every Friday night, some Malays, they used to say, they somehow force themselves to recite Yasin. And then it is time for me, for us, I think, It's not only mere recitation of Yasin every Friday night. No, you have to start. You have to move forward. You have to understand Yasin. And then Yasin also said, أَوْلَمْ يَرَوْا أَنَّا خَلْقْنَا لَهُم مِّمَّا عَمِلَتْ أَيْدِينَا. Do they not see what we single-handedly created for them? Among other things, cattle which are under their control. And we have subjected these animals to them so that they may ride some and eat others until the end of this ayah. Meaning by the animals created for us. Okay, even though animal is created for us, but we should not abuse the animal, torture them. And we have to use them for meat when we have to use them for meat. So that is why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam teaches us or taught us the ethic. So this hadith, Inna Allah kataba al-ihsana ala kulli shay. Allah has enjoined goodness to everything. فَإِذَا قَتَلْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنَ الْقَتْلَةِ. When you kill in a good way. Kill in a good way. How? أو إذا ذبحتم فأحسن الذبح. When you slaughter in a good way. How? وَلْيُحِدَّ أَحَدُكُمْ شَفَرَتُهُ فَلْيُرِحْ ذَبِيحَتَهُ. So every one of you should sharpen his knife and let the slaughtered animal die comfortably. Kena tajam pisau tu. In order to make it fast. Dia tak rasa. And then this is another hadith. Rasulullah somehow one day passed by a man who placed his foot on the side of the sheep. Pijak kepala nak sembelih lah. And then as he sharpened his blade in front of the animal, the sheikh was observing this. And the Rasulullah scolded him somehow. أتريد أن تميتها موتات? Do you want to kill him twice? هلا حددت شفرتك قبل أن تضجعها. Why did not you sharpen the knife before throwing it on the ground? See, the ethic in Islam. Because the animal is for us. Allah created the animal for us to consume. Our protein. Without the animal, we cannot live our normal life because we need protein. Even though there is protein in certain plant, for example, soy sauce, soy. Kata soya semua sekali. But we still need the animal protein. So that is why we have to watch the ethic. And then another hadith, narrated by Ibn Umar. He entered upon Yahya bin Sa'id, another person. While one of his Yahya's son was aiming at him after tying it. Budak ni pergi ke ayam, dia pun memanah. Bahan dia dengan batu. Main lastik lah macam kita di kampung-kampung dulu Ibn Umar walked to in and tie the animal. Then he brought the animal with the boy and said to Yahya bin Sa'id, prevent your boys from tying ikat the birds for the sake of killing them. As I have heard Rasulullah say, Rasulullah forbidding the killing of an animal or other living thing after tying them or make them as a target practice target. Tak boleh. Can you imagine this is about Islam? This is about the good and the justice of Islam. This small tiny little thing is mentioned. So if you meet someone who blame Islam, for example, the Hindus, they blame Islam. The Islam is the religion of the terror. Why? Because they kill the cows. Jadi kita jawab, we have ethic. We have ethic. For example, in a certain country, they kill the cow, the bull, of the spot. But in Islam, we cannot just kill them for spot. Even in one hadith, but in this hadith, if I'm not mistaken, not the authentic. In the hereafter, the birds or certain animals will complain to Allah, saying that, oh Allah, I've been killed by these people, by this person, just for the hunting pleasure. Just for the hunting pleasure. And not to consume me. The animals, the birds particularly, complain to Allah. And then because of that, that particular person who hunt the animal just for pleasure will be punished severely by Allah. Can I second this hadith in Sunan Ibn Majah. Well, because previously I was invited by the National Veterinary Department's in conjunction with the Animal Day. They asked me to present on this topic. Mana dah? Jangan sambil-sambil ya. Tanggungjawab ni. Very interesting because I discovered this topic during I made some research before presenting. Tanggungjawab pemilik haiwan menurut Islam. Very interesting. Okay, this is the topic. Peranan Khalifah, our role as the vice-gerency of Khalifah in this world. Islam and Rasulullah is the mercy to the world. In particular, even to the animal. Islam appreciates the animal and then the responsibility of the animal's owner. Very interesting discussion. For example, mana dah? Banyak ni. Tanggungjawab pemilik haiwan. For example, beri makan, feed them, and do not burden them with hard work without helping them. Ada hadis, ada hadis. And then apa lagi ya? Ini bila malam, when you travel at night, when you travel with the animal, musim kemarau, kena cepat-cepat berjalan supaya sampai cepat, tidak membebankan haiwan. It is mentioned in the hadith. And then, for example, if you travel during the time of green, masa subuh, kena bagi dimakan. Apa lagi? Okay. Mana lagi? Kita do not make your animal as a chair for sitting, because Rasulullah came by this group of people sitting on the animal, on the cow, while talking to each other. Kalau kita kata apalah sangat tetapi duduk atas belakang unta tu rasa letih, rasa sakit, Nabi tegur everything. Do not apa kita kata ni, macam tidak menakutkan haiwan, everything, Masya Allah. Tidak jadi kesesaran menembak, banyak Masya Allah. Tidak mencederakan haiwan, everything it is mentioned. So you should be proud of yourself if you learn Islam, because Islam touches of everything, including how to deal with the animal, even the animal. Rahmatan lil alamin. Rasulullah is the sign of mercy of the world. Okay, habis itu sampingan saja. Okay, and then we go to the third issues tonight. The third issue is about vegetarian. Is there a vegetarian concept in Islam? In Arabic, we call it nabati. Okay, the first one, livestock is created for humans' consumption. وَالْأَنْعَامَ خَلَقَهَا, and he created the cattle for you as a source of warmth and food. Allah mentioned a special mention in this ayah, the animal is your food. Okay, if you put away the meat because you think that it is cruel to kill the animal for your food, you somehow go against this ayah, these verses. Okay, and then believers been reminded on this concept. Okay, the historical background or sebab nuzul of this ayah. They come companions of Rasulullah. Anas reported that some of the companions of Rasulullah asked his wives, the Prophet's wives, about the fact that he performed in private. And then they asked the wives of Rasulullah, how does Rasulullah live his life, daily life? And then the wives of Rasulullah shared that the moment of Rasulullah this, Rasulullah that. And then they made their own conclusion. And then someone among them said, I will not marry women. Okay. Someone said, I will not eat meat. And some say, I will not lie down in bed. Listening to this, Rasulullah gave speech and said, what has happened to these people that they said so and so. Whereas I observe prayer and sleep too. I observe fast and suspend observing them. Okay, and marry women. And Rasulullah said, and who turns away from my sunnah? Siapa tanya ikut cara aku, he has no relation with me. This is not part of my religion. After this, Rasulullah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this ayah, reminding the believers, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, see the beginning of this ayah. Remember. Next time when you open the Mus'haf, you find this ayah, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, or you who believe. Meaning by that, this particular ayah is meant for the believers. And normally, it is quite hard to practice the content of this ayah, except you are believers. Meaning by that, if you successfully practice the content of the ayah, inshallah, that was the sign of your iman. So Allah said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, after the event, the particular three Sahaba, Allah said, La tuharrimu tayyibati ma ahallallah. Do not prohibit the good things God has permitted for you, including to consume, to eat the meat. Yeah. Orang tanya tak ada apa, Dr. Yuslinda, next time kali kena bagi direct link ke Zoom. Sebab ada yang masuk tak jumpa link tu. Ya, kena tengok dalam description WhatsApp. Ya, saya kena hantar ni. Jangan. Okay, never mind. لا تحرموا طيبات ما أحل الله لكم. Do not prohibit the good things Allah has permitted for you. ولا تعتدوا. Do not commit aggression or transgress aggression. إن الله لا يحب المعتدين. Allah does not love the aggressors. Maksudnya melampaui batas ni mengharamkan benda yang halal, including the meat. So, even Rasulullah himself enjoyed the meat. Rasulullah, some cooked meat was brought to Allah, to Rasulullah, and the meat of the forearm was presented to him. And he used to like it. He ate a morsel of it and said, I will be the chief of all of the people in the blah blah, sampai habis hadis lah. Maksud Nabi makan daging. Jadi kalau kita nak jadi vegetarian, kita do not create your own understanding in the region. Do not say that if you want to be close to Allah, you should avoid the meat, because the meat is derived or taken from the animal. In order to eat the meat, you have to kill something. So killing is not good. No, do not jump to your own conclusion. Do not jump to your own conclusion, because in the beginning, I said to you, everything in this world created by Allah for us, provided that we have to consume, to take benefit of those creation, including the animal, using the right way, using the right ethic. And very interesting. See, I watched a program conducted by Dr. Zakir Naik a long time ago. And then during the program, one Hindus stood up and confronted Zakir Naik. Among the logic giving, the question and the logic given by these Hindus, he said, Islam is the religion of terror, because Islam kill and eat the cow. Kita tahulah lembu ni sensitif untuk orang itu. So Zakir Naik answered a very brilliant answer. Okay, first of all, brother, we have to admit God, regardless God, which God, Shiva ke, Vishnu ke, Allah ke, is a very wise, or is a very brilliant entity or God. Among the wisdom of his creation is about our teeth. Why? Because some animal only have the inside the teeth, macam herbivore. Jadi dia makan benda yang sesuai dengan gigi dia. Okay? And then we have omnivore. Omnivore ni eat the plants and the meat. And then we have carnivore. And then Zakir Naik say, look to your own teeth. Allah created your teeth consists of everything. You can use your teeth to eat, to be the vegetarian. You can use your teeth to, for example, the canine, after tagging, to eat the meat, and so on and so forth. You can find the wisdom, Allah's wisdom, in your own creation, only on your mere teeth. Gigi awak saja. I was so impressed with that answer. The meaning by that, eating meat is okay. Okay, conclusion. It should be clear that one should not think that it is better to abstain from eating meat. That doing so will be rewarded. Or that being a vegetarian is closer to Allah than not. And so on. It is not permitted to draw closer to Allah this way. It's Allah who is the best of mankind, and the closest to Allah used to eat meat and honey and drink milk. Maksudnya benda-benda macam ni kita kena perhati lah. Kadang-kadang pokok ni dia apa, dia memandai. Tak pandai. Tak pandai tapi memandai. Okay. 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 The last issue. Alhamdulillah. Food prepared by and slaughtered by the people of the book. Okay. Generally, okay, ni tak apa. The prohibited animal for the Jews, yeah? For those, ni, okay, tak apa. Okay, originally, principally, in principle, we can say that Muslim can eat their food. Yes, because it is mentioned this ayah, Surah Al-Ma'idah. You have to understand Surah Al-Ma'idah among the last surah revealed by Allah to Rasulullah. Among the last surah, we can say that it is among the latest version of our religion. Today, all good pure foods have been made lawful for you. Okay. Similarly, the food of the people of the book is permissible for you to consume, and yours is permissible for them. Okay, this is the main concept. Sama juga, and permissible for you to marry to the woman of the book. Ni ada perbincangan panjang depan lah. Itu kita sentuh mengenai makanan saja. Okay, kosher food. Ni kalau kita biasa siapa hak travel duduk di overseas tahu lah, kosher foods are foods that conform to the Jewish dietary regulation or kashrut dietary law. The law of kashrut apply to food derived from living creatures, and kosher foods are restricted to certain types of mammals, birds and fish. Okay. Ini semua ni kata derive from the Torah. Derived from the Torah. Ada soalan, can I eat meat slaughtered by Jews and Christian? Okay. Dia kata apa? Dia punya syarat kata genuine Christian or Jew. Genuine. Itu dia punya criteria. What is the meaning of genuine Christian and Jew? Those who believe in God. For example, you meet this Christian. He ran the kosher. He slaughtered a butcher's house. And then you ask him, okay, I want to buy the food, the meat you provide. But before that, I would like to ask, are you the Jewish or Christian? And he said, oh, I am atheist. He said, I am atheist. No, Christian, no Jews. Even though his family is the Christian family, no. You are not allowed to eat food slaughtered by him. Because he said, I'm the atheist. Itu kata apa, genuine Christian atau Jews. Jadi dia kata ni, tengok bawah ni. Dia kata, however, if there is a valid reason to doubt the belief of a particular Christian or Jew, then it will not be allowed to consume the animals slaughtered by them. If one is a Christian or a Jew merely by name, okay, and in reality he is an atheist, then his slaughtered meat would remain unlawful. Lepas tu kita kena tanyalah siapa Tuhan. For example, if okay, are you Christian? Yes, I'm Christian, Jewish. Okay, who is the God? Kita tanya. Dia kata, my God is Zeus. Dia kata, my God is Thor. The Lord of Thunder. Contoh lah. Ataupun Loki, ya. Dia kata, itu maksud dia bukan Christian. So dia punya sembelihan tak dimakan, haram. At least he said the Father God. Ataupun dia kata Yahweh ataupun Allah. Kita boleh makan. Itu cerita lah kosher, ya. Okay, Allah Alam, that's all. We have remaining another 6 minutes. If someone asks the question, kalau ada soalan, boleh tanya soalan. Allah Alam. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Ustaz Abdullah Wari. So now we move on to the Q&A session. So if you want to ask Ustaz any question about the topic, you can unmute your mic, or if you shy, you can Yes, type it at the chat box. Any question? If not, I will ask. Okay, Ustaz, about the condition of the slaughtered animal. At first we must say, must be slaughtered by the name of Allah. But what if the big factory have to slaughter about 1,000, 2,000 chickens per day? Does they need to say Bismillah every time they slaughtered or how? Because I think that's too much for them to say Bismillah 2,000 times.
Okay. The simple answer, because I went through this question before, but you have to double check because this is not my forte, not my area of specialization. But I was once read had this same question. Okay, provided that the butcher, the one who slaughtered the animal, is a Muslim. Why? Because if I'm not mistaken, I read in one hadith, the name of Allah is inside the heart of the believers. Enough for you. You don't have to Bismillah. Bismillah. Bismillah every time. But if you recite Bismillah, it's better.
Okay.
Lepas tu dia setengah kilang, macam kilang KFC ke apa. Dulu pun jadi isu lah, dia ambil non-Muslim untuk sembelih. Lepas tu halal standard is very important. So if in our previous session, I said to in our previous session that developing the halal standard is a jihad. It's a jihad. Why? Because when you are doing this halal standardization at the world level, you somehow safeguard Muslim from consuming haram. So you have to be professional. Alhamdulillah, we in the IAM, I think, in INHART is very professional. We develop the halal standard, and then we make sure that the consumer, the customer, comply to the halal standard. Somehow, inshallah, you will be rewarded by Allah because you save human being, a Muslim, from involving to the haram. Similarly, similar thing happened to the muamalat, Islamic banking, Islamic finance. Masuk jihad yang inshallah will be rewarded accordingly by Allah in the hereafter. You should be proud of yourself. Tanya sikit, tanya sikit. Oh, halal ni.
Thank you, Ustaz. So for the second question, it's about the hunting conditions, about the hunting dogs. So the condition is the dog we has to ask the dog to catch the animal, right? So after the dog, our dog catch the animal, the hunted animal. So we need to clean the animals because we know that dog is najis mughalazah, right?
Saliva, yes, yes.
Yeah.
We have to clean cat the part been bitten by the dog, because in another hadith it is mentioned that apa kita kata bekas, the bite of the dog contains the kata the dirt, kotoran tu. So actually yang cerita pasal anjing buruh ni very interesting. Ulama faham ayat tu, cakap Melayu lah, Pak Ayah berbelit lidah cakap. Ada dalam ni. Ada international student tak? Tak ada Melayu. Ya. Okay. Dia ayat tadi tu pasal apa tu? Ulama melihat benda tu sebagai kemuliaan ilmu. Tengok mana tadi? Hunting dog. Kat mana tadi? Dia kata gini, katalah kita ada syarat, ada 3 syarat 3 syarat. Yang pertama, dilatih. Yang kedua, ditangkap untuk kita, untuk dia. Yang ketiga, kena sebut nama Allah. Bahagian pertama ni, let's say, kalau kita ada 2 ekor anjing, seekor kita latih betul-betul, seekor lagi tak dilatih. Dia just tengok kawan dia, diikut. Jadi masa kita lepaskan anjing, kedua-dua anjing ni, satu anjing dilatih, yang disebut train tu, mukallibina tu'allimunahunna mimma 'allamakumullah. Itu yang menariknya, kita kena latih anjing tu. Contoh, kita latih anjing pandai berburu. Lepas tu anjing tu Ibu pun latih anak tu untuk berburu. Nah, kita sebagai manusia. Kita sebagai manusia, sebab kita khalifah, kita dimulakan dengan ilmu. Jadi kita kena latih. Walaupun mak dia latih, macam tu juga, tetapi tak boleh. Tak valid. Itu interesting. Katalah, seekor yang kita latih, seekor kita tak dilatih. Bila kita nampak ada 2 ekor kijang, kita lepas keduanya dengan bismillah. Dan kedua anjing guna teknik yang sama. Dia gigit, dia pun tarik kepada kita. Anjing itu yang kita latih halal, yang tak dilatih itu haram. Jadi ulama kata apa? Derive from this ayah. Ulama kata, dia kata, if in the animal kingdom, knowledge of the animal, dia kata separates the halal and the haram. Dia kata imagine the human kingdom. Dia kata kalau dalam dunia haiwan, ilmu tu dah membezakan antara halal dan juga haram, apatah lagi dalam kita kata dunia manusia. Ilmu tu sangat penting. Saya baca tafsir ayat ni, saya kata wow. Dan saya pun guna point ni untuk galakkan kita, kawan-kawan orang ni untuk belajar. Saya kata manusia berilmu tak sama dengan manusia jahil. Usahakan manusia, haiwan yang berilmu pun tak sama dengan haiwan yang jahil. Kerana ilmu animal tadi tu benda haram jadi halal. Waktu saya kata of course kita manusia yang jauh lebih mulia berbanding animal lah. Allah Alam.
Alright. Rasanya kita dah sampai ke penghujung. So, I'll speak English again. Okay. So there is no question. So our Tadabbur session has come to the end. So who not fill in the attendance, you may click the link in the chat box. So you can get the 80% and the certificate at the end of our episode. So now we move on to taking picture. So all of you who want to take the picture can open your camera. You want to take the picture? All of you can open the camera.
Okay, buka kamera, ambil gambar. Tu letak bendera belakang tu. Merdeka.
Yeah, okay, that's alright, it's okay. So Tiny, are you ready? Okay, so now I will count 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Alright, thank you, Stas. So thank you, Stas, for the insightful sharing and the insightful journey for this topic. So I hope for the next episode you will share insightful sharing also about halal.
Itulah, ingat
for the
next
Tadabbur
session
episode.
saya nak bincang mengenai fashion dan juga pakaian.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Okay.
Pasal
Boleh.
halal standard ni
So
kadang-kadang kadang-kadang kita maklum ya, halal standard juga kena ada dalam pakaian.
yeah,
Kena ada dalam
setuju,
pakaian.
setuju.
Okay.
Alright. Hope to see you all in the next month for episode 3. So do not miss it or you will regret it. So till then, I will close our session with Tasbih Kafarah and Surah Nas. Yeah. Right. Thank you, Sas.
وشكرك وحسن عبادتك